Some wounds don't bleed. They echo. You felt it before. The conversation that left you feeling smaller. The subtle remark that lingered in your mind for days. The smile that wasn't kindness but condescension. Not all disrespect is loud. Sometimes it is quiet, calculated, and easy to miss if you aren't paying attention. And the most dangerous form of it comes from those who once pretended to respect you, until something in them decided you no longer deserved it. In this message, we will uncover 5 subtle but piercing reactions that reveal a person's true absence of respect, not only for you, but for the Stoic principles that demand we treat all people with fairness, dignity, and virtue. The ancient Stoics believed that the way a person treats others is a mirror of their inner state. These 5 signs are that mirror. Once you see them clearly, you cannot unsee them, and you will never explain them away again. 1. The dismissive silence. Silence can be a sanctuary. In the hands of a wise person, it is a space where tempers cool, where thought matures before words are born. But there is another kind of silence, a silence that wounds, that diminishes, that says without saying, "You are not worth my acknowledgement." You know it when you felt it. You're in a conversation, and you offer a thought, not a careless one, but something sincere. And instead of engagement, you are met with a blank, calculated stillness. Their eyes shift away, their posture changes, as if your voice never existed. It is not that they are lost in reflection, it is that they have decided your presence does not deserve reflection at all. The Stoics taught that attention is a form of respect, and respect is the currency of human dignity. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily to meet others with justice and fairness, regardless of their station or ability to repay the kindness. The dismissive silence rejects that principle. It treats the other as invisible, a denial of the common humanity that philosophy commands us to honor. And here is the danger. The dismissive silence often hides behind a mask of, "I was busy," or "I didn't hear you." But when the pattern repeats, when it becomes their default reaction to your contribution, it is no accident. It is an erosion, slow and deliberate, of your place in the conversation, and therefore in the relationship. When you encounter this, the Stoic approach is not to plead for acknowledgement. 2. The mocking smile. A smile should be a bridge between souls, a silent language that says, "You are safe here." But the mocking smile is a different dialect, one that speaks in sharpness instead of warmth. It comes with a tilt of the head, a raised eyebrow, or a smirk that says, "I see you, but I see you as lesser." It's subtle enough to escape the notice of bystanders, but unmistakable to the one it's aimed at. You say something earnest, and the corners of their lips curve, not in shared joy, but in private ridicule. They may even cloak it in laughter, suggesting you're too sensitive if you call it out. This is not humor, it is hierarchy. They are not laughing with you, they are laughing at the place they've put you beneath them. Epictetus warned against scorning others, because doing so is the mark of a weak and disordered soul. The disciplined mind finds no pleasure in degrading another. The mocking smile reveals insecurity masquerading as superiority. It is the weapon of one who cannot rise on their own merit, so they attempt to stand taller by pressing others down. To a Stoic, such behavior is not worth retaliation, but it is worth remembering. Not because we should carry bitterness, but because awareness protects us. When someone greets your sincerity with mockery, understand that you are not in the company of a friend, but a competitor who has mistaken your openness for weakness. Preserve your dignity by refusing to feed their performance. A calm, steady presence in the face of their smirk will unsettle them more than any counterattack could. And in your private thoughts, remind yourself, their reaction does not measure your worth. It measures theirs. 3. The selective hearing. Some people have sharp ears when the subject serves their interests, and sudden deafness when it serves yours. You tell them about an important detail, a plan, a boundary, a request, and somehow when the moment arrives, they've forgotten. Yet curiously, they never forget the details that benefit them. This is not a lapse of memory, it is a lapse of respect. Selective hearing is the art of ignoring what they do not value. It communicates without words. Your needs are not significant enough for me to carry in my mind. For the Stoic, attention to another's needs is not just politeness. It is justice. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we are citizens of one great city, bound to one another through mutual service. Selective hearing is a refusal of that citizenship. It is the withdrawal of one's responsibility to treat others as equals in importance. Worse, it can be a subtle form of manipulation. If they forget your boundaries often enough, they train you to stop asserting them. If they overlook your contributions, they diminish your presence in shared spaces. This is how control creeps in without confrontation, through the slow erosion of your right to be heard. The Stoic response is twofold. First, to observe without self-delusion. Name the pattern for what it is, a choice, not an accident. Second, to adjust your level of investment accordingly. Do not keep pouring the water of your words into a vessel that has chosen to leak. 4. The public correction meant to humiliate. Correction, when offered in the right spirit, is one of the greatest gifts we can receive. It helps us see our blind spots, sharpen our judgment, and grow in virtue. But the correction that is meant to humiliate is poison disguised as medicine. You'll know it when it happens. Instead of quietly pointing out your mistake in private, they choose the stage. Their voice grows louder. Their timing ensures others are watching. Their phrasing is designed not merely to inform, but to display their superiority. What could have been a simple exchange of truth becomes a performance, one where you are cast as the fool and they as the enlightened guide. Seneca reminded us that true wisdom is humble. Those who correct from a place of genuine care seek to preserve the other's dignity, not dismantle it. Public humiliation, on the other hand, is about dominance, not improvement. It reveals an ego more interested in spectacle than in substance. To meet such behavior with equal aggression is to descend into the same theater they have chosen. The Stoic instead receives the truth of the correction, if there is any, and discards the venom. You can acknowledge the fact without submitting to the humiliation. And you remember always that their need to elevate themselves through your embarrassment is the clearest sign that they are still enslaved, not to you, but to their own pride. So 5. The resident said, the withheld praise. There is a quiet cruelty in seeing another person's effort, progress, or achievement, and choosing to remain silent. Some people will witness your growth and deliberately act as if nothing has changed. This is not forgetfulness, it is strategy. To acknowledge your progress would require them to confront their own stagnation. The Stoic does not work for applause, yet he understands that the refusal to give recognition, when it is deserved, reveals a heart narrowed by envy. Seneca wrote that the great soul is without envy, rejoicing in the success of others. The one who withholds praise lives in the opposite state. They see your light as a threat to their own shadow. They might even disguise their silence as neutrality. But pay attention. When others achieve, they are quick to offer congratulations. When you achieve, they are suddenly busy, distracted, or forgetful. Their silence is a form of resistance, a refusal to let your victories unsettle the hierarchy they have built in their mind. The Stoic answer, in the end, disrespect does not always roar. It often whispers. The dismissive silence, the mocking smile, the selective hearing, the public humiliation, the withheld praise. Each of these is a fracture in the mask, revealing the truth beneath. When you see these signs, do not be bitter, but be awake. The Stoic's power lies not in controlling others, but in mastering himself. Your dignity is not for sale, and your worth does not shrink in the shadow of another's smallness. If this message has opened your eyes, then carry it forward, share it, live it, and remember, respect given too cheaply invites its theft. Hold your standards high, not out of pride, but out of reverence for the soul you are becoming. This is Beyond Vision Mindset. Subscribe for more wisdom rooted in the ancient philosophy that still shapes the strongest lives today. And if the lessons here have brought you clarity, consider supporting this work. Buy me a coffee, send a super chat, or drop a sticker. Every gesture helps keep this message alive and growing, so we can continue walking this path together toward a life of strength, virtue, and unshakable peace.